I want to talk to you guys about something I've learned about this whole life thing. And now, I know this angle is not the best, but it's going to have to do because I'm not prepared and I don't have a proper setup. And it's raining and it's just a vibe, all right? Pretend you looked up rant with rainy vibes and then this popped up. You know, when you type up jazz with rainy vibes or lo-fi, this is what this is. So, I have a crippling problem mentally, and basically what that is like fear, period. Like, I'd be scared to be trying things. Like, it's like, I don't know, a lot of people have different problems, right? Obviously. So it's like when it comes to creation and ideation, some people are not good at creating ideas. Some people are not good at the physical creation of that thing. Some people are not good at follow through. Some people are not good at starting. And for me, I got the idea, I got the concept in mind. Then it's like, oh, like, how do I bring it to life? I figure it out. Okay, great. And then it's like, pause. Like, what do I do now? That's my biggest problem in life. And this is relevant for me, I guess, when it comes to like creating a product. And if you're like, why are we talking about creating products? Well, because we all have a gift within. We all have something that in us that we are called to do, right? You would think. And some people struggle with, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, there's this one girl I know, she's like in her 20s, 27, and I'm like, so like, what do you want to do with your life? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, valid. But like, some people are just meant to live a happy, fulfilling life, and that's okay in whatever way that's for them. Other people, I wish I was more knowledgeable on like the different kinds of people, because that would have been helpful for this talk. But I do know there's like some people that are supposed to like, how you are is like the career path you're kind of meant to follow, like what, also based on your personality type, but like there's like the different archetypes of a personality, and then they kind of guide you on like what you should be pursuing in life. Is the windshield bothering you? Okay. So like, if you take that test and then it's like that little character is like telling you what to do. Yes. I wish I had that. I wish I had my computer. I'd be like, I would look that up right now. But instead I just have an iced coffee. Not sponsored by iced coffee, but I'd like to be. But if you're ever in Miami, Imperial Moto, so good. And Caracas Bakery, so good. Panther Coffee, good too. But those are my top. So I just want to do a little plug because I'm from Miami. So yeah, so based on these different archetypes of who you are and what you're supposed to do, and I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there's something called a life path, and this too kind of dictates how you're supposed to operate in the world. Now, I obviously do not follow any of this, because if I did, I would be knowledgeable enough to inform you guys on what that stuff is. But maybe this will inspire you to look into it. It's definitely inspiring me to look into it. Now, what I will say is, when we're young, we are gravitated to certain things, and that's kind of shapes what we like, what we want to do with our lives. And for me, I've always been fascinated with creating like an invention. It's always like my thing. And like, whether it's like a new concept or something that, you continue to sell, like you can take something and then sell that and it's already made up, or you can do a twist on that concept and make it your own. Like there's millions of sandwiches places, but it's just like creating your own sandwich place versus like inventing a product is like very different. Sorry, I'm not making eye contact with you. I love you. I'm driving. So based on, turn my fucking windshield wipers back on. Oh my God, is it loud? I'm going to shout, okay? And people are going to honk. So based on this concept, I once heard something that was so profound, and it was like so subtle, but it was like, oh my God, it's raining so loud. I'm so sorry. It's usually not raining this loud. I'm gonna shout. There's this concept, like I'm sure if you looked up jazz vibes, raining hard as hell, this video would pop up. Actually, it's fine now. But I saw this concept when it comes to making money, right? And it's like, you can be working for someone. That's like the low level aspect of creating money. You can make a product, you can make a service, and then it's like using your service for time, and then creating a product is like how you receive income. And then there was another one, and I think a low key was related to stocks, like a low key, and like having that passive income of like investing and then getting money type beat. I don't remember fully, but I will say I do know that the services and product was above on that aspect to make money. And it was basically saying that how you go and becoming an entrepreneur was like ideal. I low-key think the top one, I don't know, fill that in for me, like look that up. Maybe you have your computer with you. So yeah, and I've always just been like locked in on that concept, being like, okay, cool, like making a product is low-key like the game changer. And even like selling the product or the patent, like yes, you sell the product, but like selling that patenting something, meaning like you own it. Whoops, am I here? So yeah, and then I've just been like so locked in on that. And then, you know, we were influenced or introduced to people that are inventors, and just those people are like, they change the game. And if you're going to invent a product, you want it to be something that not what you think people want, but what you think people need. Like if someone needs something, they will purchase it. People need toilet paper. Like people are going to buy toilet paper. Yes, people need shirts. Yes, people need bags, but they don't need some designer bag. I'm not saying don't be a designer and make elegant bags. Of course, there's a market for that, and there's people who can afford it. But if you can fulfill a need within someone, they'll buy it. Like that's why everyone's willing to buy water when they're thirsty. You know, it's like it's a need. People, my ex would tell me like, invest into razors in the stock market, because everyone's always going to need to shave regardless of what's happening in the world, like regardless of the economy, like people are still going to need to shave. And I think that thing that happened in 2020, you remember when the whole toilet paper situation, people needed toilet paper, that shit skyrocketed. I remember I bought toilet paper from Office Max. That's how I was like, not going to go out, I'm going to be safe. And like they had like huge rolls, and it wasn't a good time for my butt, but at least like I knew I was above people who didn't know how to go to Office Max online. It was not the best decision. I'm sure I could have found a better solution. But my point being is like, if you can create a product that people want, yes, and want and need though, if they need it, you are going to thrive. So how does this tie back into my problem that I was saying, my crippling problem? My crippling problem has to do with fear, like taking chances. Now, remember I was talking about shirts. So one of the things I would love to do, which remember, they say never talk about your ideas ever, like shut your mouth and just work. I'm so lucky because my boyfriend also is into the same ideas of life. Like we're both like very inventive and very creative. He's like on OD though, like he's like above me on that level, because he knows how to create. That's my problem. I do not know how to do shit, like nothing. I can write a song, I can sing you a tune, I can write, but bringing an item to life, ooh, like how the hell do you do that? And like you need money and all this shit. Have you seen my pockets? Like I don't even have pockets, you know? So that's where I am. Obviously you can learn YouTube University, and I agree, and I think you shouldn't depend on people. Like I low-key am depending on him for help, and he's helped me so much, like not so much, but he's helped me, and I've helped myself too, don't get me wrong. I've done things like I've once created something that was great. Like I got inspired from someone else doing it. Like I walked into a shop and I saw this item, and it was like the first time I've ever seen this item. And no, I've never seen this item anywhere else. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my own version of this and then sell it here at other locations of doing this. And I made the product. I sold it at one location, and they didn't really make any sales because okay, so I don't want to give it away because I don't want you to take it. But even though it's already like thriving now and like on Amazon, but imagine like a natural product that works basically okay, and now imagine that product like made in a manufacturing facility that's like made by scientists that actually directly help with that, so it's more certain to help, you know? Like I don't want to give it away, but I can't give it away. But like if it's made in a lab, like it most likely, like, okay, I'll give you an example. I can eat fats, which is great for you. Like salmon, eating fats is good for your hair. But if I take a supplement, for a biotin supplement, you know, and I'm having like hair problems or like whatever, like, and I'm like really struggling with that, the biotin is more likely going to push that aspect of like long nails too. Like, yes, consume both, but the scientific made product is more likely to have the effects that you're looking for when it's like a diet, when you're like desperate almost, you know? So it's like proven, like it's proven to help versus it's a natural product, like it may help, you know? Which is still up for debate. I really hope I shaved my armpits. I'm gonna do a little test. I did, good for me. Anyways, back to the discussion. Ooh, she was pretty. I like that. So, as I was saying, people love just crossing the road and like when it's a green light. If you ever been to Miami, like you'll be like, what the heck is happening here consistently? So, now that we got that out of the way, I did do that and I got discouraged because only one person bought it, and I was like, oh my god, how the hell am I going to invest into this product, right, if no one seems to want it? Like, what if no one wants it? And like those thoughts in my head of doubting myself, and it's crazy because if you know entrepreneurs personally, if you've interacted with them and you've like picked their brains, or if you're like chronically online like I am and you're just obsessed with the self-improvement world and the business world, you'll hear this, and even with athletes though, that they don't stop. Like they try and try again no matter what. Even in sales, you knock on every door, you DM 10,000 people. Seems bizarre, but I guess when you're hungry, you're hungry. And that one yes is all you need. Like it's just that one yes. And that girl, I got my one yes. I didn't even have to knock on a million doors, you know, with that product that I was referring to. But it's funny how something so small can discourage you. Not small, but something like that can discourage you, which is like, rather than looking at the positives, you know? So I think my dad tells me that life is like a game is a mental game. Life is truly a mental game. And the two consistents that I've come to realize when it comes to this mental game of life that I struggle with on a consistent basis that I've yet to master. Obviously, I'm a young girl. I'm not saying other young women. I'm a young girl. I'm a young woman. Sometimes I feel like a little girl, and I don't like to be reminded that I am a little girl. Like, but one consistent is the aspect of gratitude and seeing where my phone notifications are on, so it's like I got distracted. But this constant in life is gratitude, practicing gratitude, and that one constant of like looking back to the positives in life and not, how do you say, I low-key got so distracted. You always turn your notifications off when you make a video that's less than number 10,000. So I'm not saying young women, I remember I was saying, are young women, you know, that they are not good at this. I feel like people who do yoga are very good at this. The one constant in life, gratitude and coming back to your breath, which is actually tied to yoga, which is actually pretty funny. I got to bounce actually, so we can continue this conversation later if you'd like to. But the whole idea that I really wanted to get to, let me finish my train of thought and the reason why we're having this conversation. Sorry, the whole wheel is it's not letting you see my face. I promise I'm still here with you. Is that I was going to tell you, I think I said, oh yeah, don't tell anyone your ideas, right? And you shouldn't do that because your brain processes it as if you've done it, if you've completed it, you know? And also if you if you tell someone your ideas, if you're, I hate to say it, but weak-minded and you're easily discouraged, someone's reaction can discourage you, you know? Unless you're the type of person that's like, oh, I'm going to prove you wrong and use that for fuel. I'm not really like that, even though anything you tell yourself is going to be true, you know? But you also have to know yourself. And like for me, like I want to make clothes. I'm not a fashion designer, but at the same time, I'm coming up with concepts, you know? So I think it's important to not get ahead of yourself. And I'm consistently doing that. Everything I'm expressing to you is a message to myself, and I'm relaying it to you. And if you can relate, then like we can high five and like have a dance party. And if you can't, it's okay. share your thoughts. Share your thoughts regardless with me. But life is a game, a mental game. In life, you have to take risks and you have to bet on yourself in a smart way, and you have to know what works. And it's funny because I also love to make music. I mentioned that, and to write. And that's also I don't want to say a demon in itself, but it's a whole obstacle in itself. And I hate to admit it too. It's like you can't do everything at once. It's like you can do everything at once. But if you're consistently distracted, I bring this up all the time. I think but like social media is like very distracting. It takes you away from your purpose. If you I was listening to a podcast. I've listened to a couple podcasts because I help my current boss with his podcast, great podcast. And it's called The Big Dogs with Manning Sumner, amazing podcast. And a bunch of the guests keep referring to, and him as well, that this concept of like being that social media is there kind of to distract you from your life's purpose. Just think about it. When you're younger, when we were younger, if you grew up in the same time as me and you didn't really have the cell phone, I mean, yes, video games and TVs existed, but if you didn't have this, you were forced in a good way, not in like a bad way, but to interact with your environment and learn how to fulfill your boredom and in a way that you're actually enhancing your skills at the same time. So if you had an inclination to music, you would most likely learn the piano, spend your time learning the piano, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously I could go still watch TV, go play with friends instead, do something else, right? Of course. But now with the phones in our hands, which my boyfriend was telling me it's still a tool, just learning how to use it, it can still take time away from that purpose and of you figuring out your purpose, you know? So long story short, if I want to learn to do something, you have to do it to figure it out if that's what you're meant to do. And I don't mean that related to the piano, but I do mean that with like the product creation, you know? I can create a product, I can spend money on a product, or let's say I want to make clothes and I'm nervous I'm not going to be as good as maybe another clothing designer or whatever, like another store. It's like, that's still a win. Like if I put out skirts, because I want to, right? 6, and they sell, I did it, you know? And it's like getting so caught up in the comparison game to other people and like what they're doing and like, can you keep up? Like, what if they do it? Like, you need to be locked in. Obviously, I think that's with everything, and just take the chance and do it, because you don't really know unless you do it. And who was I listening to? I think Tarek Sheriff, he's the co-founder of Rolling Loud. He was one of the podcast guests. But I saw a reel that he was saying, like, if you want to do something, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to take the one step to do it. He's like, if you want to be a clothing designer, you just have to make a shirt. Now you're a designer, and you got to build that way. And it's just the truth. Like, I think I make music. I've made so many songs, and I'm like not where I want to be whatsoever. But in the grand scheme of things, like I'm doing it, you know? Lock in. Like, that's all I got to say to you. I don't know what your life purpose is, but if you took anything from this video, it would be to just lock in and center yourself. Remind yourself like who you are and what you want in life, and don't get distracted, and just know like there's a purpose for you, and the purpose is in the trying. And I was listening to the podcast, Taylor Cavalon or something. He was like a Navy SEAL he was a Navy SEAL, the only Navy SEAL to become a French Foreign Legionnaire, which is pretty epic. He like flew all the way to France and like knocked on the door, gave in his passport. For 3 years, they had his passport, lost his identity. And the idea with that, he like struggled with discipline, and he said, if you feel like you're and he put it so simple. He's like, if you feel misaligned, it's because you're not listening to what your inner world is telling you. Like, if your inner world is telling you to wake up early and you're not doing that, you're in misalignment, you know? Simply just like, if you don't feel good because you're not doing the things that you know you should be doing in moral conduct, like morally correct, you're not going to feel good. And when you start that discipline realm, it's going to help you find the purpose that you feel is within. But he says you kind of have to get rid of distractions, get rid of external validation, and spending a lot of time with yourself, and just locking in and being attuned to that. So anyways, I'm just rambling. I had a coffee a little too late, 7 p.m. So wish me luck. I hope I can go to bed early tonight. Yeah, and I hope this video was helpful. I hope you become everything you want to be. And I hope you take risks. And like I always say in my videos, exercise, eat well, eat your protein. I cooked for myself last night and today I've been feeling so good. For me personally, I think when I don't eat enough calories, like I'm just like a robot. Like I'm like beat. Yeah. I have hash browns. I love hash browns. I have a banana too. Ooh. And sparkling water. You guys know I love sparkling water. I have 2 sparkling waters. Oh my god, I'm on like OD right now. No days off. In the arms. Can't even tell, but I spilled water on myself. Alright, bye guys. I'll talk to you later. Let me know if you guys want to talk about anything in particular. I'm just a girl in the world. Bye. My name is Amber.